Friends, we need to talk about anti-Zionism because anti-Zionism is not just another system of beliefs or it's not just this political view. Anti-Zionism is a movement that is based on falsifying history, denying archaeology, and denying reality. But it's not just that. There's only one movement in the world that claims there is only one solution. You know what that movement is? That is the anti-Zionist movement. And you know who else claimed to only have one solution to a problem that they very much obsessed on, and then they came out with the horror called the final solution? Yeah, that similarity is not coincidental. That is by design. There's only one movement in the world that is non-stop obsessed only with my people, the Jewish people, with the Jewish state, and claims that if just we solve that problem, everything else would go away. They don't see any complexities in the Middle East. They don't see Sunnis. They don't see Shiites. They don't see Kurdistan. They don't see Armenians. They don't see minorities being persecuted in the Middle East. They don't see the number of Christians plummeting by tens of percentages in the past century in the Middle East. They don't see any of that. They don't see Iran's proxies. They don't see what's going on in Lebanon. They don't see militias. All they see is one problem in the Middle East, and that is Israel. And they believe that if that problem goes away, everyone will be living together, kumbaya, in peace and love and brotherhood. ISIS will be good with the Muslim Brotherhood, will be good with the Mujahideen, would be good with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, would be good with Hezbollah, would be good with stuff going on in Iraq. That is their insane belief, and that is a belief that they obsess on. So you got to realize that anti-Zionism is not simply a belief, it is a dangerous, a toxic movement that very much echoes the same type of ideology that came up with the horrors of the final solution. And you need to realize that anti-Zionism is a dangerous movement. It's not an opinion, it's a movement. It's a movement seeking the absolute eradication of me and my people. And that is not something we can put up with. That is something that needs to be called out. Anti-Zionists deny reality. They put up memes that are simply not true. They put up disinformation. They govern on TikTok, and they deny reality and facts. They'll put up things saying, oh, my grandmother is older than your state, implying that therefore Israel has no right to exist, when in fact there are another 20, 30 states that are younger than their grandmother. They will not speak about that. They'll speak about the Nakba, but they won't mention the fact that Pakistan and India and dozens of other countries had wars that ended up, unfortunately, with populations immigrating, moving, or being displaced. That was 77 years ago. They don't care. To them, it was like yesterday. It's a movement that is predicated on the absolute denial of the right of the Jewish people to their homeland. It's a movement that cites the UN often, but it forgets to mention that the League of Nations and the United Nations all passed a resolution calling for a Jewish state in the homeland of Israel. It's a movement that denies colonialism, but forgets to mention to you the native indigenous Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, who was born in Egypt. They forget to mention to you Yahya Sinwar, who was born, what's his name? The other guy, Ismail Haniya, who was born in Egypt and died in Iran, but is somehow a Palestinian national figure. They forget to mention to you the most basic facts about the region, and this is a dangerous movement. We need to realize what it is. It's a movement that's built on denying archaeology. The fact that every archaeologist will tell you about the ancient kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of Judea. They don't care about that. They don't care about the fact that the Jews were a majority in Jerusalem in the late 1800s. They don't care about the fact that there was a huge influx of migration from Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan into British Mandate Palestine, Israel. And that many of those people are not indigenous. They will tell you fairy tales about Jesus being a Palestinian, or about the Palestinians being actual Phoenicians or Canaanites or other non-scientific facts that they make up, and that is a dangerous movement. Friends, there is only one movement in the world that has synagogues standing with guards, armed guards outside. There's only one movement in the world that has spray painted synagogues, that has defaced schools in the past 15 months, and that is this movement that is anti-Zionism. It's a movement that endangers Jews for being Jewish, and the obvious truth is, as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs used to say, anti-Semitism is a virus. It's a virus that mutates. So if in the early centuries, going from the year, let's say 70 on to the year to the Renaissance, you have Jews being persecuted for their religion, for not believing in Jesus or not accepting Islam. So then you have later in Germany Jews being persecuted not for faith but for their race. And then you have Jews now being persecuted for having the audacity of wanting a homeland of our own. So this is just another mutation. Anti-Zionism is a mutation of the world's most dangerous virus, a virus of anti-Semitism that brought the end of the life of 5% of the world's population in World War II and a huge amount of other destruction to the world. You need to call it out. You need to know what it is. And it's time to call it for what it is. Anti-Zionism should be categorized as a hate group. It is anti-historical, anti-archaeological, anti-factual, anti-scientific, and it's enough to entertain it as some kind of legitimate political opinion.